Jerad, what's up, brother? I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Good. What's
Uh,
going on?
I got a chance to ask, some of our ball players, some questions for you as far as, obviously everything is shut down right now, baseball at the major league level, which you're right in the middle of spring training with the Padres, which is a change for you this year from being Rangers guy and Phillies and now Padres. How's that been going so far anyway, man? We've kept up in spring training and stuff, but now
Yeah,
that you got some time, how has camp been?
yeah, it was good. Camp went really well, or has been going really well, and man, I feel strong. I feel healthy, and I was able to get in some games, a game early on, and then some games on the back end. I got some work on the backfields too, and working on another pitch. And I mean, it's been really successful so far. Getting the chance to get know these guys and the coaches and all that stuff. So I think I'm in a really good spot. Hopefully, when camp fires up here again soon, as far as making a team and all that stuff.
Right on, man. Well, we'll get to it. We got some good questions. So we asked all the way down from some of our 8U guys all the way up to our 16 and 17U guys, and had some coaches that had some questions in there as well. And we didn't really have much overlap. We had some really good questions. So
Cool.
but we'll break it up. So we've got like 25 or 26 or so, and I think that some will be short, but we may get into a few. So we'll try to keep the videos short here. First question right out of the gate, Carter Rich. He asked, what motivates you to get back on the mound after a rough outing?
Well, it's a good question. No, I think for me, I think it's just the competitive nature of what we do, and just how I am. You want to. No one wants to go out there and just get shellacked. Nobody wants to get roughed up for 5, 6, 7, 10 runs. But it's one of those things where it's just having a little pride in what you're doing and knowing that you can go out there again, and I'm better than that. I can prove that, and it's just another opportunity to show what you can do. And I think it's almost it really sometimes, unfortunately, it kind of motivates you to get on the mound even more and prove yourself even more than those great games, or trying to follow up a good game with another good game. So hopefully they don't come around very often, but just being able to get back out there and just show that you can do what you want to do, and you can be successful at it.
That's tough as it's tough as a starter too, because you've every fifth day, so you've got 4 days to just let eat away. So how do you? I mean, it's obviously going to burn. And that's one of the things we talk about. We talk about, frustration is awesome. And if we can use frustration as fuel to fuel, trying to get ourselves better and to make adjustments, that's great. How are you able to make sure frustration doesn't turn into anger? And that's something we talk to our guys about. As soon as you get angry, you've lost control of your emotions. And in the baseball side, I mean, you see highlights, you see all kinds of different stuff. Guys slamming coolers, guys, when they lose their emotions, they have lost control. So how are you able to use that frustration or how can you channel that when you've got 4 days to sit on it? Did you go out and you get chased in the second inning, you give up 7 runs and they're all earnies, your ERA blows up, and now it's like, perfect, I got 4 days to sit on this. I got to go tag BP now, and everybody's throwing balls into my ankles, and now you're sitting around pissed off about it. How do you work your way through that part?
Yeah, so I would say there's like kind of 2 elements to that. So one, there's the in-game frustration and how to channel that whenever it's currently going wrong. So say you got, you're 4 pitches into the game, 5 pitches in the game, and you got first and second or second, third with nobody out. And it's the first inning, and you're just trying to get used to the mound, get used to the weather, the game. You're just trying to process everything. You got, for me, it's like you got 25, 30,000 people in the stands, and you're trying to process all of this, and you're still trying to get outs, and you're trying to go 6 innings, and you got no outs, and you're 5 pitches in. You got guys on the pond, in scoring position. So it's being able to process that. So the end game for me is, and I've told a lot of guys this, and I think it changed me, was if I can just count my breaths and focus on my breath. So if it's, and this is true, it sounds simple, it sounds basic, but it changed my career path, I think, for the better. And things are going crazy, I take a step off the mound, and if I can count, breathing in is 1, out is 2, in is 3, out is 4, and sometimes it takes me 10 breaths. And yeah, you're going to be having the guys wait for you, but if you count your breaths and it gets you back to present. You're now worried about what is currently happening, what my current task is. New guys in the box, and okay, how do I get this guy out? What is he good at? What pitches do I know he can't hit, and where can I throw them that he can't hit them at a very high clip? So it's basically getting you back to center, getting you back to the present state, your current job. What am I doing right now? Versus thinking things are speeding up. Gosh, these guys score, it's 2-0. I got no outs. My ERA is going to this. Am I going to get sent down? All these things start.
Worrying
really
about
quick.
things that haven't happened yet, and worrying about things you can't control, right?
Right, and it can happen quick. So that's the end game. Is just, I would say, one of the biggest things for me is just counting your breaths. It may take 10 breaths. It may just take 2. Not only in the game, but in the dugout too, because your mind can go. You're throwing a good game, and you look at the scoreboard like, man, I'm 5 innings, haven't given up a run, and you start going, man, if I just go another inning or 2, that drops my ERA to this, and tomorrow I'm going to be doing interviews, like they're going to talk about how good I did. It's like, whoa, what are we doing here? So it's constantly, and I do it outside of baseball too. If my mind starts racing and starts thinking about other things, I just start counting my breaths. It gets me back to right now in your current state. So then that's current game, in-game stuff. And then again, after the outing's over, you try to make adjustments. It doesn't work. You went 2 or 3 innings, you gave up 4 or 5 runs, and you're out of the game. And now you got 4 days to think about it, 5 days to think about it. It's basically putting that aside, focusing on the positive, because there's some positives in that. In any situation, there's positives. So you're focusing on positives, and then, but also not dwelling on the negative stuff. That day, it just wasn't my day. It wasn't my day, and what can I do today to get me back on track, to keep progressing, keep getting better? Chances are I wasn't executing my fastball. Okay, well, this next bullpen here in 2 days, I'm going to focus on that fastball command. I'll flip a couple breaking balls and my other pitches in there, but I'm going to really focus on locating the fastball, hitting spots, and getting back to what I know works. And I think that's, if you can do that every day and just focus on the task at hand, what you're trying to accomplish, and be good at it, whether it's running, getting your lifts in, all that stuff, and just break it down to each rep of each thing you're doing, that's where success really starts to build. But that takes work. That takes a lot of work into doing. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to be able to do that, and just focus on every single task at hand. And that's, if you can break things down, it makes those steps seem a little shorter.
That's awesome, man. That's a great answer, man. There's a lot of good stuff I can take out of that. I noticed that you got a baseball.
Yeah.
And obviously, knowing you for a while, and always flipping a baseball. This is not in our list of questions, but why does it make sense to always have baseballs sitting around, or why does it always make sense for there to be a baseball, sitting next to you on a couch or in a chair, wherever you're sitting at? Why do you always have a baseball with you?
Especially now, because we're not playing and we're not basically out on the field and touching the ball as much and just getting a feel for it. So I just like, for right now, just getting in my hand, feeling it. I'm talking baseball. I'm thinking about it. I was just talking about that previous question. I'm thinking of the exact spot I was in against the Mets in my second big league start. And I was just thinking about how I went about that, and how, I threw almost 50 pitches in a first inning, or almost 40 some pitches in the first inning. And I could have went south, and I could have been out of the game that inning, but I ended up going 6 innings and keeping this in the game. I think we ended up winning the game after giving up 3 runs in the first inning. And I'm just thinking about that, and I'm feeling this ball, and how that inning went, and how that game went, and how things could have went had I not slowed myself down. But it's just, for me, it's just feeling the pitches, feeling making sure my hands are in the right position, making sure my mind's thinking, okay, fastball, I got slider, okay, where's my pressure at? Just constantly being aware of what my hands are doing. And then for me now, I'm working on a splitter or a split change type thing, and I need to just constantly feel it. I need to feel the pressure, feel what it feels like. And so when I do have the limited opportunity to throw, especially now, I'm making good executed throws, or I'm really making intentful throws when I'm making pitches. So just trying to get the movement, get the same consistency and all that.
That's awesome, man. I was that was a fun game to watch. That was in Philly. I was able to make it in there for that one. That was the first home start, I think.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you didn't get any help. Yeah, I think there was maybe a fly ball dropped in center field. Morgan was famous for like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That was great stuff, man. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so we'll get on to the next question. Pete Britton, he wants to ask, what is your post-game recovery routine? And so I'm going to expand on that. Let's talk spread, and we'll talk food, workout, muscle recovery, whether there's heat or ice involved, and then food, and then sleep, as far as how you're trying to wind down.
Okay. So game's over. Hopefully I do not get a migraine, which happens sometimes for me because I don't know what it is, just the release of stress or whatever. So hopefully I don't get a migraine. It happens about 2 to 5 times a year. Hopefully I don't get a migraine, and I come in, I get my shoulder work done with the trainer.
What kind of work there? You can be general.
Yeah, we call them manuals, but it's basically just with the trainer there, and it's typically a high intensity kind of arm training or arm workout type thing after the throw. So it's just basically just to really flush the arm there. And then in the past I would ice, and this is going to kind of go to your point and with what you asked me, I think a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, as far as the Mark Pro. I am probably going to stop icing from here on out, and I'm probably going to purchase a Mark Pro here in the next couple of days.
If you need to try it. Well, you have them. They're all over.
And I've used them before. But just in doing some research on it, Casey sent me a podcast from Cressy, who I've been really involved with too recently. Is the workout? He's a workout baseball specific trainer out of Florida, and he had the guy that basically came up with it and the reasons why. And long story short, he came up with this it all started with, well, why are we icing? And he asked thousands and thousands of people, doctors, trainers, everything. Well, why do you guys ice? What does it do? Oh, well, it just, it promotes, limits the swelling. Well, he goes on a rant of just basically explaining that's really false. There's information, there's data out there that suggests that icing is actually not good for you. It basically slows down the recovery process. So, and just reading on about it, I'm in on it, and I've used it in the past. Didn't know what specifically the Mark Pro did. I knew it kind of flushed the muscle, but basically just in the past couple of days, I've just learned a lot more about it. So I'm actually gonna over the next 2 or 3 days after a start, I'm gonna basically Mark Pro parts of the arm that's sore from that night when I go home to the next day after I throw to day 3 when I'm just getting my lower body work or my total body work in. So it's going to be a process from that. But again, after the game, I'll just kind of continue here. That was kind of dissect a little bit. But after the game, after that I typically would ice. I'd get on the bike and ice for like 20, 30 minutes, and then I'd get off. Game would typically end. I would meet my teammates, hopefully on a win when he come in, and then we'd interviews and all that stuff, and then obviously we'd have food there for us and pretty nice spreads there, and shower up, take it back to the house, and I just like to unwind. I watch MLB Network and watch some other baseball that's going on around the league, and then I try to go to bed at a good time, but sometimes it's hard after game days. You just got a lot of it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stuff going on. Your nerves are going and all that. So it's hard to kind of wind down sometimes.
How often do you replay pitches and scenarios in your head after a start? I mean, because there's everybody can, and I don't necessarily mean second guess, but
yeah,
like, gosh dang, if I'd have just got that, if I'd have located that one pitch, or how often do you go back in, because you can't control it, but if we're smart about it, I feel like there's things that we can pick up. I mean, it's important to go back and analyze the things that we can make adjustments on, and what we can pick up and move forward. But how long do you keep rewinding, replaying those back?
Yeah, I'm pretty hard on myself, and I probably replay them more than I should in my own head. There'll be times where I'll be finally winding down, I'll be sleeping, I'll be, wife's about to go to sleep, and I'm laying there, and my last thought is like a pitch, homer I gave up or something, and I just start sweating. I just get, my blood starts boiling. And then I delay my sleep for another 45 minutes by thinking about that. But it is hard sometimes, especially it happens both ways. You think about those good pitches and, man, those pitches you really executed, but a lot of the times it's the negative ones. And that's what, you could throw 100 pitches in a game, and you're not going to win. You're not going to win on 5 pitches, but you sure as heck can lose.
Yeah, no doubt.
You can lose a game on 5 pitches, and that's what's really that's what makes this game just so difficult. You can make 100 of them, but lose on 5.
Make one stinking mistake.
Yeah.
Period. One. I mean, yeah, it is.
But
not.
it's training. You just got to train your mind into just to leave it there and trust that tomorrow I'm going to work on that pitch maybe and just playing catch, and then when the bullpen happens 2 days later, I'm gonna just work on executing that pitch and go on from that, and just really focus, like I said, just going forward, not dwelling on the past. You just taking the positives and just keep moving forward, because this game's negative enough.
Well, right on, man. Well, let's. I got one more question for you, and then we'll kill this one, and then we've still got plenty more that we can get to later on.
Yeah.
Ben Vaughn asks, who is the best player you have both had to go up against? Yeah, man, that's a good one for you. You've had the pleasure of going up against a lot of really good ball players, man. What you got?
I've only faced him 3 at bats, but I mean Trout, if I had to do it again, I'd throw him probably all fastballs up in the zone and curveballs down below the zone. But I would probably say Trout. He took my best pitch over the wall in left center. first AB in the first inning.
First time you'd ever seen him?
First time I'd ever seen him. I got him like 0-2, and then I messed around with him. He took a really good curveball below the zone, and I threw him another one. I'm talking 4 inches higher, and it was high enough for him to lift it left center. 3-run homer. I'm down 3-0 first inning with about 1 out. So
that's why that dude's the best on the planet.
Yeah.
How about best player to ever play with?
Best player to ever play with.
As a teammate.
I'd say. I mean, Harper's got. I mean, he's just a perennial player. I mean, to say I was his teammate's pretty cool. I mean, JT Realmuto, just a solid dude. Just heck of a catcher. He's in the fight, every pitch and just fighting for you.
That's so important for catchers, man.
Yeah.
For catchers done, and Matt Probst has got a really good question for you. We'll get to later, and I will not miss me being a former catcher and having that mentality mindset. But like, that is awesome that you said that, because it's like he's in the fight with you every single pitch. A catcher that busts his freaking balls to try to get everything he can for a pitcher to try to control the game. Anyway, so I'm getting off track on the catching part of it, but the original, who's the best player that you've played with, and Harper, Realmuto.
Yeah. I'd have to say those guys. I mean, thus far, I'm sure hopefully there's a lot more I play with here coming in, but yeah, those two guys really stand out to me. There's a Freddie Galvis in there. He's a Latino shortstop. He's just an incredible teammate, person. The guy's been robbed of a Gold Glove, I think, for like 3 straight years. So I'm hoping he gets one at some point. So
yeah, well, I'm sure he will be, man. Jerad, I appreciate the time, brother. We will we'll catch up later and go over a few more. But I appreciate you taking the time answering a few questions, brother.
yeah, happy to do it.
Thanks, dude.
Yep. See ya.
We'll see ya.